The girl in the wreckage. The desert storm came without warning. Dust rose high into the sky. Sharp winds cut across the dry land like blades. Machines buried long ago screamed as the storm uncovered them. Cole, a human scavenger, pulled his hood tighter and moved quickly across the sand. He had lived alone on this forgotten planet for years. He fixed broken tech, traded scrap for food, and stayed far away from trouble. But today, trouble came to him. As he climbed a ridge of sand, his scanner beeped. Something metal was nearby, large, fresh, and hot. A crash. He followed the signal, and soon saw black smoke in the air. Down below, half buried in the sand, was a small alien ship. Silver cracked open like an egg. "Not from around here," Cole muttered. He slid down and approached slowly. The air smelled like fire and melted wire. Inside the wreck, lights blinked weakly. Cables sparked. Cole pulled out his torch and stepped in. Then he saw her. An alien girl, barely conscious, lay against the wall. Her armor was broken. Part of her side was burned. Silvery blue blood ran down her arm. Her eyes opened slowly, locking onto his. "Please," she whispered. "Don't leave me." Cole blinked. "You speak English?" She nodded weakly. "Learned for trade." He knelt beside her. "Can you walk?" She tried, but cried out in pain and collapsed. Cole didn't ask more questions. He lifted her gently into his arms and carried her out of the wreckage. Her body was light but cold. Too cold. He took her to his shelter, a small metal hut half buried in the sand. Inside, he laid her on the old medical bed and quickly cleaned her wounds. "What were you doing out there?" he asked. She didn't answer. She just closed her eyes and whispered, "Hide me." Hours passed. The storm outside grew louder, but inside, the girl slept under warm blankets. Cole watched her carefully. She was strange, different from other aliens he had met. Her skin was pale gold, with tiny glowing lines running across it like stars. She didn't look like a soldier. She looked lost. Cole checked her injuries. She would live, but just barely. While changing her bandage, he noticed something on her back. A symbol, golden and sharp, etched deep into her skin. Not a tattoo. Something more. He didn't know what it meant. He wrapped the bandage back around her arm and whispered, "You better not be bringing heat with you." The next day, she woke again. "Water?" she asked. Cole handed her a bottle. She drank slowly, then looked around the room. "You saved me," she said. "Yeah," he replied. "Lucky I found you." "No," she said. "Lucky for me." Cole sat down on a crate across from her. "What's your name?" "Rayla." "I'm Cole." Silence hung between them for a moment, then she said, "I was chased. My ship was hit. I crashed here by accident." Cole leaned forward. "Chased by who?" Her eyes dropped. "Bad people." That was all she said. Cole didn't push further. "You're safe here," he said. "But if someone's looking for you, I need to know." Rayla shook her head. "They won't stop if they find me." "What did you steal?" Cole asked, half joking. She looked at him. "Not a thing," she said. "Only my life." That night, Cole couldn't sleep. Outside, the wind howled. Inside, something didn't feel right. He checked the scanner. Energy signals were growing nearby. Fast, sharp, mechanical. Not a storm, not wild beasts. Drones. He grabbed his old rifle and stood near the door. Behind him, Rayla woke up and whispered, "They're here." "Who?" Cole asked. She sat up slowly, her body still weak. "The ones who want me gone." "Why?" Her voice was soft. "Because I carry something they fear." Cole looked at her. This injured, quiet girl with gold in her skin and sadness in her voice. "What? Are you really?" he asked. She didn't answer. Not yet. In the area, the sun had not yet risen. Outside, the wind had slowed, but the sky still held the color of dust. Cole stood at the edge of his shelter's roof, binoculars in hand. Far in the distance, barely visible through the sand haze, 3 black shapes moved silently across the land. Not animals, not human. They floated just above the ground, smooth, round, glowing, faint red. Drones. Military grade. Not from Earth. Cole lowered the binoculars and cursed under his breath. They're looking for her. Inside the shelter, Rayla sat by the heat lamp wrapped in a blanket. Her wounds were healing fast, too fast. Even with human medicine, Cole had never seen recovery like this. They found the crash site. He said, "They're coming." She didn't panic, she simply nodded. "They will not stop." Cole sat across from her. "I want the truth now. No games, who are you really?" She met his eyes. There was no fear there, just quiet sadness. "I told you, I am hunted, because of what I am." "That's not enough," Cole said. "They sent war drones. That's not for a thief, not for a runaway." Rayla looked down. "If you know, they'll kill you too." "If I don't know, I can't protect you." A long pause. Then she whispered, "I was born in a place no outsider has seen. A floating city in the clouds. My people do not elect leaders, they are born, marked." She lifted the corner of her sleeve, revealing part of the golden crest on her arm. Cole stared. "What is that?" "The mark of first blood," she said. "I am the voice of my people, their crown, their law." Cole blinked. "You're saying you're a queen?" She nodded once. "I was. And now? Now I am prey." The drones came closer by the hour. Cole activated his defense field, a weak, humming shield barely strong enough to block wind. It wouldn't stop war drones, but it might slow them. He moved through the shelter, gathering his tools. A rusted plasma rifle, an old EMP mine, and 3 grenades left from the war. Rayla watched him. "Why are you helping me?" she asked. Cole loaded the rifle without looking up. "Because you're hurt. Because I found you. Because I don't like bullies." She tilted her head. "You don't even know me." "Don't need to," Cole said. "I don't leave people behind, not even queens." At sunset, the drones reached the outer wall. They didn't attack right away. They hovered, scanning the ground, searching with cold precision. Cole and Rayla hid behind a wall of crates, breath-held, weapons ready. Suddenly, one drone moved. It sent a beam across the door, bright red, slow, scanning for life. Cole whispered, "Stay low." Rayla closed her eyes and whispered something in her language, a soft chant that echoed like wind. Then, without warning, one drone shot through the door. Cole fired back. The first drone exploded, but 2 others flew straight in. One of them turned toward Rayla. Cole didn't think. He jumped in front of her and threw the EMP mine. A white flash burst across the room. Both drones dropped to the floor, twitching, sparking. Silence returned, but the shelter was broken. The shield failed. Cole dropped to one knee, coughing. "We need to move. Now." Rayla helped him up. Her skin glowed faintly, and for the first time, Cole saw what looked like fear in her eyes. "They won't stop," she whispered. Cole looked at her, still breathing hard. "Then neither will I." As they prepared to leave, Cole searched one of the disabled drones for parts. Inside its memory core, he found a message. It showed a picture. A young alien girl, injured, alone, Rayla, and under her name, glowing red. Status: runaway queen. Terminate on sight. Cole closed the file and looked at her. "You should have told me everything." Rayla looked away. "Would you have believed me?" Cole nodded slowly. "No." He slung the rifle over his shoulder. "But I believe you now." The truth beneath her skin, the sky was dark now. Cole and Rayla moved through the canyons, guided only by moonlight and Cole's old tracker. The desert was quiet after the drone attack, but not safe. They had left the shelter behind. It was no longer a home, just a target. They reached a hidden cave near the edge of the mountain cliffs. Cole had used it long ago for storage. Now it would be their new hideout. Inside, he dropped his pack and turned to her. "Sit," he said. "Tell me everything." Rayla didn't argue. She sat on a rock, her golden skin dim in the cave light. She looked tired, not just in her body, but in her soul. "I was never meant to rule," she said quietly. Cole sat across from her, rifle still nearby. "You said you were queen." "Yes," she nodded. "But not by choice. My birth marked me. Our laws say the one who carries the crest must lead. Not the strongest, not the wisest, just the chosen." She unwrapped part of the bandage on her shoulder. Beneath it, the golden mark glowed faintly. A perfect circle made of fire-like lines, alive under her skin. Cole stared. "So they crowned you because of that?" "Yes." "And they hated me for it?" "Why?" Rayla looked at him. "Because I asked questions. Because I wanted peace. I didn't want warships, I wanted schools. I didn't want to conquer. I wanted to build." Cole shook his head. "They wanted a puppet. They got a voice," she said, "and voices scare those who only listen to power." She told him everything, how her own council turned against her, how her guards, those she trusted, locked her inside the palace and declared her missing, how one loyal friend helped her escape in the night, placing her inside a secret pod. "I remember fire," she said. "I remember falling. Then I woke up in your arms." Cole leaned back against the cave wall. "You're not just running," he said. "You're surviving something huge." She nodded. "And now you are part of it." He gave a dry laugh. "Not the first time I saved someone I shouldn't have. But maybe the first time you saved a queen," she said softly. He looked at her. "You don't talk like a queen." "Because I was never allowed to be one," she replied. Later that night, Cole checked the portable scanner. The drones were gone for now, but their signal was still active, searching, spreading. He looked at Rayla, asleep by the cave wall, wrapped in his spare coat. Her breathing was calm. He walked over, pulled the coat tighter around her and whispered, "I don't care who you were. I'll protect who you are now." But deep inside, a thought stayed with him. If they found her again, would they still want her dead? Or would they now want him dead too, for knowing the truth? The man who became her shield. The morning sun peeked over the cliffs, casting a soft, golden light across the desert. Cole stood outside the cave, watching the horizon. The wind was quiet now, but his mind wasn't. Inside, Rayla was still asleep, her body healing slowly. Cole checked the weapon pack. One plasma round left. His shield belt was cracked. Food and water would last only 3 days. But he wasn't worried about hunger. He was worried about who would find them first, rescue or killers. Around midday, Rayla woke up. She stretched slowly, her body stiff but stronger. "You should have left me," she said. Cole turned to her. "Why?" "It would have been easier." He shook his head. "Easy doesn't feel right anymore." She smiled faintly. "You're strange, for a human." "You're strange for a queen," he replied. They both laughed, just a little. The silence between them felt softer now. They spent the afternoon moving through the rocks. Cole led the way, looking for a hidden cave with clean water he remembered from years ago. As they walked, Rayla practiced using one of his old sidearms. Her hands were unsure at first, but Cole guided her. "Hold it firm. Breathe steady. Don't aim with fear, aim with purpose." She looked up at him. "Your kind are direct." "We don't have floating cities," he said. "We just have dirt, tools, and a reason to survive." "What's your reason?" she asked. He didn't answer right away. Then he said, "Right now? You." They reached the cave just before sunset. Cole dropped the gear and turned to Rayla. "Stay here, I'll check the back tunnel." He stepped inside, but the moment he turned the corner, a shadow moved. A blast hit his side, sharp and hot. He dropped to one knee. Ambush. 3 masked figures stepped out. Royal assassins. "The queen dies today," one of them hissed. Cole didn't hesitate. He threw his last grenade and ran back toward the cave entrance. "Rayla, run!" But she didn't run. She was already moving, blaster in hand, eyes glowing with fire. "You're not touching him," she growled. The battle was fast and wild. Cole fired from behind a rock, blood on his shirt. Rayla moved like wind, silent, strong, striking from the shadows. Together they brought down the attackers. The last one crawled away, barely breathing. Cole limped toward him. "Who sent you?" the assassin whispered. "Your life means nothing to them. But hers is a warning." Then he died. Hours later, Cole sat on a rock, holding his side. Rayla knelt beside him, using her healing tech. "This may sting," she said. "Already does." A soft light covered his wound. It burned, but then cooled. The pain faded. He looked at her. "You've healed soldiers before?" "Never a human," she said. "You bleed like us, but you don't fall like us." He smiled. "We're hard to kill." She touched his arm gently, and harder to forget. That night they didn't speak much, but when Rayla placed her head beside his shoulder, Cole didn't move away. She was no longer just a queen hiding in the sand, and he was no longer just a scavenger. They were something more now, something stronger. Return of the betrayer. The sky turned red the next day. Cole knew what that meant. Ships had entered orbit. Someone was coming. The only question was, friend or enemy? He and Rayla packed quickly. The cave was no longer safe. As they stepped outside, a voice called from above. "Don't shoot, it's me." Cole raised his rifle. Rayla's eyes narrowed. A tall alien man stepped down from a rocky ledge. His armor was old, but marked with royal symbols. "Kalor," Rayla whispered. You're alive." "Barely," he replied. "After you escaped, the others turned on me. I was locked up for weeks. I broke out when I heard your signal." Cole didn't lower the rifle. "Why are you here?" he asked. Kalor raised his hands slowly. "To help, I swear." Rayla looked unsure. "You were my protector. You swore loyalty." "I still am," Kalor said. "I want to help you take back the throne." Cole stepped closer. "Then prove it." Kalor reached into his pouch and pulled out a small device. "I have access codes to a comm tower nearby," he said. "You can send a message to your loyal forces if they're still out there." Rayla looked at Cole. He shook his head slightly. "It could be a trap," he whispered. "It could be hope," she replied. They traveled together across the cracked land. Kalor led the way, always speaking of old memories, of Rayla's training, her first speech, her kindness. "You were always meant to lead," he said. "But you trusted too much." "Trust made me human," she replied. Cole stayed quiet. He didn't like Kalor. The man moved too smoothly. His eyes never stayed still. His words came too easy. They reached the tower by nightfall. A broken structure of steel and glass stood on a high cliff. Old tech, but still working. Kalor stepped inside and started powering the console. Rayla stood by the door. Cole checked the perimeter. Something felt off. No drone traces. No signal jammers. Too quiet. Too clean. Then, he saw it. A flare. Mark. Royal Assassin Code. They'd been there recently. He ran back inside. "Rayla, get away from him." But it was too late. Kalor pulled a hidden blade and lunged at her. She dodged just in time, falling backward. Cole fired, but Kalor moved fast. "You shouldn't have come back," Kalor hissed. "They offered me a seat if I brought your body." "Then you never believed in me," she said, voice low. Kalor raised his blade, but Cole tackled him from behind. They fought hard. Steel, fists, fire. In the end, it was Rayla who fired the final shot. Kalor fell. Silence filled the tower. Cole leaned against the wall, breathing hard. Rayla stood over Kalor's body. "He was once like a brother," she said, "but power changes people. Cole nodded. He almost took everything from you. She looked at him. He didn't. She turned to the console and placed her hand on it. Lights blinked. The signal opened. Are you sure? Cole asked. She looked at him with fire in her eyes. They want me erased, she said. But they forgot. I am not alone now. And with that, she sent the message, a voice across the stars. This is Queen Rayla. I live. And I remember who I am. Queen's Wrath, the message echoed across space. Queen Rayla's voice reached old relay stations, hidden rebel ships, and even the edge of her homeworld's silent towers. I live, and I remember who I am. But not everyone welcomed her words. On the throne world, the Council of Traitors watched in silence as her image appeared in every chamber. She should be dead, one of them hissed. Then we finish what we started, another replied. Back on the cliff tower, Rayla stood still. Her hand trembled, but her eyes were fierce. They heard me, she said. Cole checked the radar. They're responding, but not with a message. What then? Ships, Cole said. Fast ones. They'll be here soon. Rayla turned toward the sky. She was tired of running. Then we make our stand. The tower was old but full of forgotten weapons. Cole found 2 turret systems and started fixing them. Rayla moved between wires and panels like someone born in a palace of machines. You remember all this? Cole asked. I was forced to learn every system, she said. A queen must understand her tools. He handed her a blaster. Good, because the enemy's almost here. The first attack came at sunset. 3 fighter ships roared overhead, blasting the cliffs. Rayla and Cole returned fire, their turrets cutting through the air. Cole shouted, They're aiming for the signal. Tower! Rayla locked onto the lead ship and fired. Direct hit. The ship exploded in flames, but the others kept coming. They didn't care about survival, only silence. A blast struck near the tower wall. Cole was thrown backward, bleeding from the arm. Rayla ran to him. You're hurt. Just a scratch, he lied. She pulled him to safety. Then she stood, alone, in full view, and raised her voice. I am Rayla, queen by blood, queen by fire, and I say this, I will not vanish. I will not kneel. You may destroy this tower, but you cannot erase my truth. Her voice carried. The ship slowed. They circled, uncertain. From behind the hills, a new signal flashed. Friendly ships. Ally reinforcements. Her people. The real loyalists. Cole looked up, smiling. They came. Rayla helped him to his feet. I called, they answered. As the enemy ships turned to flee, Rayla raised her weapon. No, she said. This ends now. She fired the final shot. The sky burned gold. Later that night, her people landed. They bowed to her, not out of fear, out of respect. One of the new captains stepped forward. Your enemies are broken. Your name has returned. Rayla looked at Cole, then let them hear it loud. She rose and named the human her king. The throne hall was silent. Hundreds had gathered, warriors, nobles, old council members, even former enemies. All waited for the moment they never expected to see. Queen Rayla had returned. She stood at the center of the hall, her armor shining, her golden crest glowing brightly on her skin. But it was not just her presence that shook the room. It was the man standing beside her. A human, Cole. Dirty clothes. A healing wound. Eyes that had seen too much but still stood strong. The new high captain stepped forward. Your Majesty, he said, we are ready to follow you again. Your enemies are gone. Your throne is yours. Rayla nodded. And you all waited for this moment? To see me alone. Murmurs spread through the crowd. But I did not return alone, she said. I was not saved by soldiers. Not by your laws. Not even by my title. She turned to Cole. I was saved by this human. Who knew? Nothing of crowns yet protected mine with his life. Cole looked uncomfortable under the stairs, but Rayla smiled. He did not ask for power. He did not ask for glory. But he gave me both. The crowd shifted. Rayla raised her voice. This man, this human, stood when my world fell. And now, as I rise, I will not rise without him. Gasps filled the room. I name him my chosen, not my servant, not my shadow, but my equal. I name him king. Some were silent. Some knelt, and a few, slowly, began to clap. Then more, until the hall thundered with sound. The human who had once lived alone in the dust now stood beside a queen, not because of blood, because of courage. Outside the palace, people gathered. Children looked to the sky and spoke of a new era, one where race did not matter, where power came not from bloodlines, but from choices. That night in the royal chambers, Cole stood by the window. Rayla joined him, quiet. "You still want to go back to your world?" she asked. Cole looked at her. "Maybe one day, but right now, this world needs someone to break the rules." She smiled. "Then stay, and let's make better ones." They looked up at the stars, no longer alone, no longer hunted. They were rulers now, but more than that, they were hope.